Doing it. We're doing it. We're back. We're back. Oh my God, it's been so many weeks since I've been live with you. I miss you so much. We're going to talk about lateral breathing. Let me bring up the question so that you know what we're talking about. And I'm going to look at my computer because I have Brad on the laptop letting me know what's going on, let me know everything is good. We had Nicole ask, it makes sense intellectually, and I can kind of do it, but I don't think I have that much range it with my particular anatomy it like it is now very probably compressed. I have some dick issues from sitting tightness, etc. I'm working on it. I try, but diaphragmatic breathing kicks in on the low and on the high end, so I end up with only shallow breaths, little small sips of air, and like all I can do is lateral. Do you have any suggestions to increase my lateral breathing? And I love this question. I want to get into it because I do think it's important to actually discuss a little bit about some nuances in Pilates that affect our ability to feel like we're doing it right. So, hi, thanks for being here. So, also, before I get into it, in a couple weeks, we have OPC Spring Training coming up. If you go to opc.me/events, you can sign up. But in the next couple of days, Early Bird is going to start. So, if you are wanting to work out with me and my team for a week and actually work on your overhead practice, like upside down exercises or just finding modifications for the upside down exercises, I would love for you to check out what we're doing at spring training. It's going to be a lot of fun. The actual spring training is in May, but early bird's about to open. Anyways, I am clearly not at home. I'm still in the UK, and I just had the most amazing time. And on the first day we were here, I got a question that has a lot to do with the question from today. The question I got was like, it's just sometimes so confusing. Like, some people say to breathe in on this type of exercise and out on this way, and some people say the reverse. And it's just like, what do you think about breathing? And I promise I'm getting to the question. But I said, you know, I think we get a little too precious and protective and complicated when it comes to Pilates. I really do think that people are complicating things that are not so complicated. And it is important to breathe. Joe Pilates said it. We have to first learn how to exhale. So if you're going to emphasize anything, it would be the exhale. Okay. Um, So, so that's important to know. But the other thing that's also important to know about breath, when I studied with Jay, is that he was very specific about not cueing breath. He only cued the breath if you'd been doing Pilates for a really long time, and or he saw that you were holding your breath. Okay. That you had just like held on and you're doing several reps without breathing. There's also a couple exercises. One is called breathing, where breath is important and it is part of the exercise. But outside of that, he actually the only thing he ever said about breath is that it should be quiet. That's interesting because everybody has these different instances of breath in Pilates, and some people are very loud. When I teach a class and I hear this, right? Or that was not something that was done. And what I know from James Nestor is also just the anatomy of breathing. It's really important to breathe in and out through the nose. Okay. In and out through the nose. And so with the question about like how do I increase my range for lateral breathing? First of all, those of you who are new to Pilates or those of you who teach people who are new to Pilates, let's not worry about the lateral breathing until we understand the choreography that we're working with. Okay. Very, very important that we actually understand the exercises before we try to get deeper into the exercise. And I know that sounds crazy coming from someone like me, but the reality is that you have to learn what you're doing, right? I was just teaching a workshop today. It's like if you don't know how to cook something, like let's say you're learning how to cook um like a soup for the first time, you are going to follow the recipe of the soup. I watch my husband cook and he follows the recipe, right? But then after he's done the recipe a few times, he kind of has it down and then he starts to go, oh, it'd be really good if I add a little bit more of this or I'm add a little bit more of that, right? So that's kind of the same thing when it comes to your Pilates practice. Once you know the recipe, then we can get deeper in playing with the spices, which could be the breath. Now, once someone's more intermediate with me and I can see that the lateral breathing would actually help them get deeper into the exercises. That's what I'm going to introduce how to do it, which if you've watched my diaphragmatic breathing, lateral breathing video, and I encourage you to do that, I talk about how to do that. So I'll leave that because I'm in this hotel room and I'm doing this myself. But I want you to go watch that video because it's actually really, really helpful and informative. But when I teach that, it's not necessarily about extending it or increasing its capacity. That's not something I'm going to teach people on day one because it's kind of like anything. Like, have you ever held your breath? Like, the first time you hold your breath is like, oh my God, 7 seconds if you're lucky. But then you know that you're not going to die. And so you can do it a little bit longer, a little bit longer and a little longer. And if you do anything, any breath work programs, kind of like Wim Hof, people can hold the breath out for a really, really long time, right? Scuba divers who do like free diving, they can hold the breath out, like they can hold their breath for minutes on end, like some crazy amount that I'm like, how do you even get to where you know you can do that? That is crazy stuff to me. So for the person who's like, I've got some disc stuff, I got this going on, feels really shallow. What I would like you to focus on first, my love, is like get your depth of the exercises down and do the best you can with the lateral breathing that you have. If it is stressing you out or becoming the distraction, let it go. Okay? Because what I don't want is into your chest, because that's going to actually cause cortisol to rise, fear to go in. Your brain isn't going to focus on what we need. You're not going to have the mind body connection I want you to have. All right. I want you to focus on just breathing into your back, just breathing into your back. And so maybe you lay down and every day or you go up against the wall and you just try to inhale through your nose and breathe into your back. Oh, that was my chest. And you put a hand on your heart and go, okay, I'm not going to let my hand on my heart ever rise. Right. And just breathe into your back. And oh, that was a little more chest. Maybe I need to take less breath in and go longer. So maybe not so much. It's not a deep in, right? Maybe it's a softer. Oh, there we go. That's less chest, more back. But if you're trying to learn an exercise and increase the capacity of your breath, you're going to just feel frustrated. You are. But if you can find the time to separate the practice and then add it in as you can. So practice the longer capacities and exercises you're really knowledgeable of and you feel good in. And then the ones that are new, don't worry about it. Don't worry if the capacity is low. Right? It'll come. We have our whole lifetime to do this method. It's really like something that wows me every time and something for the teachers who are watching it, I constantly want to challenge you to remember that we have our whole lifetime to get better. So let's not over correct something or over focus on something like increasing your lung capacity. It might be something you have to do with breath work, and that will impact your Pilates practice. And so, if you're wanting to increase not just lateral breathing capacity, but just your breath capacity. So, because the question I have for you, Nicole, who wrote this in, is like, what's the capacity for your breathing when you're not thinking laterally? Like if you're just doing diaphragmatic, right? Is it also a little bit stuck? Right? That's gonna take some time. Also, it could be your sinuses, right? That's the other thing. Like sometimes people are like, "Oh, it must be this metatarsal thing," and it's like actually like the fascia in their left side is all stuck. So there's some things that are just like Pilates is great and it can solve the world's problems. And also sometimes we need other things to solve the thing that you're struggling with add to your Pilates practice. For example, I have a weaker upper body. I study Pilates 5 days a week. I would get on my hanging pull-ups and I would do them every day. And they were not getting better. Added with heavy weights in, all of a sudden my hanging pull-ups get better, right? So as much as I'm obsessed with Pilates, sometimes other things are needed to help me with my practice. So, your homework, notice when you're trying to focus on this lateral breathing and you're struggling. Is it on new exercises? If so, let it go. Second, spend some time doing some breath work where you fuse the breath work to focus on lateral breathing. You can just go on to YouTube and find a breath work for beginners and just see if you can like focus on lateral breathing with whatever they're doing, right? And then see if you can apply it to your Pilates practice. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. But don't let it ruin the mind body connection you can have in your Pilates practice. Don't let it become the thing because it's just one part of your Pilates practice. It's not the part of your Pilates practice, right? It's just one. And so I hope this gives you some permission to be yourself, to be in your practice, to do the best that you can, right? Just doing the best you can and just noticing as you continue to do Pilates, if that lateral breathing just gets easier, it might get easier without you even focusing on it. I know. Isn't that an annoying answer? It's an annoying answer, but I just want to be thoughtful and honest with you that like sometimes my practice gets better, not because a teacher said anything to me, because I just kept doing it. So Nicole, just keep going. Just keep trying. Just keep doing the best you can. Notice and celebrate what is getting better. Maybe some seasons are easier than others. Maybe some seasons like it's springtime where I am, and oh my God, no, I'm not getting deep, long breaths, right? It's just I have a little more allergies. So just sometimes it's just as like a simple, like common sense answer that has nothing to do with like, okay, I want you to sit down and try and like do this thing. It's not like that. I know that's an annoying one. But you know me, I like to be honest with you. I'm so grateful to be back live with you guys. I've missed you guys. Like every Sunday, I'm like, oh, I miss them. But to be honest, I would have forgotten, or there was several Sundays we were on. Like there was no way I would have made this time. So thank you for being you. Thank you for joining me back live. I'll be back live answering your questions every Sunday. I don't have anyone that I'm missing for a while because at least I'm in the US when I starting tomorrow. Um, Spring training is next month. Early Bird's going to open up very soon. OPC members, you always get an invite for free, so watch your inbox. And then what else can I say? Oh, if you are a teacher watching this, my mentorship program only has 3 spots left for next year. So definitely reach out if you want to get more information about the mentorship program I have for teachers. Hi, Megan. It's so good to see you. Thanks for joining me. To everyone, thank you so much. It's dinner time over here in the UK. And I gotta finish packing. Thank you. I'll see you next week. Bye.